So what I did is in the last video that I dropped, I unboxed these microphones. This is the Samsung R21S, and here on my channel, I've been using this Audio Technica AT 2020, and this is a condenser microphone, but this is a dynamic microphone. This is popular. You must know this from like performances and all that, because you can hold it and you can use it for performances and all that. But there are some dynamic microphones that don't look like this, that kind of look like how this Audio Technica looks, like the SM7B, which I'm going to put a picture of so you can see it. And it's very popular when it comes to like podcasts and content creators here on YouTube. And there's also like Rode Procasters and other dynamic microphones that are used here on YouTube as well. So recently I switched from using my Audio Technica and I started using the Samsung dynamic microphones in my live streams and my videos. And I'm going to tell you why I did that. I did that because, as you can tell, I'm not in a treated room, so I have reflections and echoes everywhere. Sometimes I have the fan on, like I have a fan behind me that is like blowing because it's hot. Sometimes it's really hot and humid, so I need to have a fan on. So the nice thing about these microphones is that they only pick up what they're pointing at. Like if I have it pointing at my mouth like this, it will pick up only my mouth. But when it comes to condenser microphones, they pick up everything. So when you're buying a condenser microphone, I feel like you need to make sure that you're going to use it in a very quiet environment, or if you have a studio or a booth setup, or if you're planning to have a booth setup. But if you don't plan to have a booth setup, then you're gonna have to go with dynamic microphones. Like these are stronger, they are rugged, and they are directional, just like video microphones, like this Rode VideoMic Pro that we use for like on-camera videos and stuff like that. So if you're working with microphones like condenser microphones, you really need your acoustic to be like on point. But if you're using dynamic microphones, you also need to make sure that it's quiet, but they do give you a little bit of leeway to not, pick up all the sounds and all the echoes and all the noises that are around you, because they are so directional. Because imagine if you're live on stage, there are speakers blasting to the left and to the right. There are monitors blasting right into the performer, but still you can hear what someone is singing through this microphone. And that's why you see a lot of performers, they are like right on top of the microphone like this. They have it like right on their mouth, because their gain is like, they're trying to really get in there, and the gain of the microphones is not that loud. And that's another thing about dynamic microphones. They need a lot of gain, so you need to have really good preamps that can drive these dynamic microphones. When it comes to condenser microphones, they just need 4 to 8 volts of power and they're good. So if you buy a dynamic microphone, you need to make sure that you have a really powerful preamp. Like the SM7B is very notorious for needing a cloud lifter or like an expensive DBX kind of expensive preamp. But if you're using a Audio Technica or any other brand of a condenser microphone, you can just connect it even through USB, and you'll have all the gain that you need to drive it, and it will pick up everything. So my volumes are set at around 2 o'clock of both microphones. So this is the Audio Technica. This is how it sounds right now. So I'm just going to keep quiet so you hear how it picks up the room. There it is. And now I'm going to talk into the Samsung R21S. This is how it sounds, and I'm going to let you hear how it sounds, like how you can hear the room. I'm going to keep quiet for a bit. There you go. So you can tell that the Samsung is much quieter, but I need to be like up close to it, like a bit much closer than I would if I were to talk into the condenser microphone. The condenser microphone sounds nice and pleasing, but it picks up everything, and that is the problem, especially if you're doing content creation. Now I've noticed a lot of YouTubers and a lot of content creators using dynamic microphones, and I didn't understand why. And some dynamic microphones are actually very expensive, like the SM7B. It's pretty expensive. because you also need to buy like a cloud lifter or a really good preamp. Unless if you have a really good audio interface that has really loud preamps, then you'll be good. But most people get cloud lifters, and that's really good. But I must say, I must give props to my audio interface, the Evo 4. It is driving these microphones pretty well. I'm not having problems with it. I can drive like my gain all the way up high, and I can get it to a really nice loud spot, and it can be really nice and loud, and it can be really good. It can actually sound on the same level like I would on the condenser microphone. Like I feel like they're on the same loudness right now, but I'm sure that you guys can also hear the tone is different. The tone of condenser microphones and dynamic microphones is different because the dynamic microphones are a little bit warmer. They give you like that radio feel. Like I've got comments here on the channel where people said, oh, you sound like you have a radio voice and something like that. That's because of the microphone. If you're looking for that radio sound, go for dynamic microphones. But if you're looking for that clean, crisp studio voice, then you need to go for the condenser microphones. That's why we use these mostly for vocals. But you can still use dynamic microphones for studio work, like for vocal recordings as well, if you get like the really expensive ones. Like Samsung is going to release their Samsung Q9U very soon, and PreSonus also has a new microphone that they dropped recently that's also a good buy for a good dynamic studio microphone. So if you're looking into doing podcasts and stuff like that, go dynamic. If you're in a situation where you don't have acoustic treatments and you have noise around, you live in a noisy area, then you need to use dynamic microphones. They will do well, and because they're so directional, they only pick up what's in front of them. But if you have a studio and you don't worry about noise, you have a booth and stuff like that, then go the condenser way. I hope this makes sense, and I hope that I just elaborated that to you nice and simple. I thought I shared this because I know most of y'all, and even me myself, I used to have the misconception that dynamic microphones are only for performances only, and they didn't work for like studio work, but they actually do. I've actually seen videos where people performed using dynamic microphones, and I was really surprised. I was like, why are they using that? Why aren't they using condenser microphones? But I only learned that as I went, so I thought I'd share this with you. So if you looking to buy a microphone, you kind of know your choices and you know what you can go for. So if you're in a noisy environment, go dynamic. If you're not planning on having a booth or doing like expensive sound treatment, then go dynamic. But if you're gonna build a booth, if you want to have a mic that picks up everything, that gives you, if you're not going to worry about external noises or something like that, then you can go condenser. You'll be totally fine. So it depends with your price point and what you want to do. But anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you guys in my next video. I'm X, and I'm out. Peace.